Welcome to the live broadcast of Women's Candidates Tournament Pool B, taking place in Khiva, Uzbekistan. My name is Oksana. I'm Alexandra Kosteniuk's sister. I have a chess title, FIDE Master, but I have never considered chess as a profession, and I have not played in professional tournaments after 16 years. But I love chess as much as many here, and I will be glad to spend the next few days together with you and Kevin.
Well, thank you for joining, and also thanks for having me. I'm Kevin, also known as KD Learns, and I don't have quite the same chess resume as Oksana does, but I joined the chess world a couple of years ago after watching The Queen's Gambit, probably like many others out there, and fell in love with the game. And yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of the commentary and your viewing experience. And yeah, it's an honor to be here commentating with Oksana and yeah, having a great time and hope that you will have a good time as well.
Okay, so we have, I guess, 1 minute before we start second round.
Yes.
Let me remind, in Pool B we have two pairs, Alexandra Kosteniuk versus Alexandra Goryachkina and Katerina Lagno versus Tan Juni.
And
So the winner of the Pool B will face off with a latency in the next year for the right to challenge for the Women's World Chess title.
yep.
So what's happening right now on our boards?
Oh. So we have e4 and e5 on the board.
Okay, so Goryachkina is usually play e4 as well as d4, as I know, so she's preferred today to play e4.
Yep. Uh, everything is standard so far. Um, Good morning, Linux. Morning. Hey, good morning, powerful night as well. Or well, I guess it's good morning for me. It's not morning for everyone else in the world. But yeah.
Yes, probably good afternoon or good night. It depends on where are you now. You can write in our chat where are you, what time is it now at your place. The games begin at 3 p.m. It's Uzbek time. And I must say that this is the standard time for the start of the games, because this time is really considered comfortable. It's like after lunch and before dinner.
Very nice. Yeah, I noticed um yeah, a lot of chess tournaments start at 3 p.m. So I guess that's just the golden standard.
Yes, it's we can say so. That's gold standard. As we can see now in Goryachkina and Kosteniuk, Goryachkina is playing white, Kosteniuk is playing black today. Again, we have Rui Lopez opening.
hmm So yeah, it's always interesting to see two players play both sides of the same opening, right? Because when will they deviate from yesterday's game, right? And I mean they already did. Like Alexandra Kosteniuk took the knight on c6 to double the structure, and that damaged pawn structure played a big role in yesterday's game. But this time, Goryachkina is allowing the bishop to survive on the b3 square, so it's already going to take a different shape than it did yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday we had the Berlin variation. and Alexandra Kosteniuk, she played, as I could see the comments today, like a fashionable light with King H1. but today we have a new variation, the other one.
Oh, okay. So we have some powerful knight is watching from Belgrade, where it is 11 a.m. right now. For me, it is 5 a.m. in the morning, and I'm in the Eastern time zone of the U.S. Which go USA in the World Cup, by the way.
Yes, it's not really good time to you, Kevin. Sorry.
It's always
I'm
a
in
good
Bang
time.
I'm in Bangkok currently, so I have comfortable time. I have 5 p.m.
Oh, and Oksana, Powerful Knight is the one who is looking for that the English version of the book recommendations.
Yes, I already making a list. It's not so easy because, of course, I have a lot of Russian books, and I'm not sure that you can find it in English. But some books that where we have only chess positions, it doesn't matter in Russian or in English. So when I will make all the lists, I will show you.
Wow.
I remember about it. I always thinking about this today.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. Like it makes sense, but I forgot. Like, yeah, not everything gets transcribed, or not everything gets translated into every language. Oh, Powerful Knight says that they can speak Russian and read it, so even if you send it in Russian, they could access it.
Oh, great. Okay, okay. Good to know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, okay, so after castles, we see A4. Wow. Uh, I guess I had seen everything else so far that's been played, but A4 is new to me, at least personally. But I mean, doesn't mean that it's bad. Obviously, it seems totally fine. It's trying to weaken this pawn structure, because if you let's just say, so Alexandra goes bishop b7, and you kind of have to, because otherwise you lose this pawn and the a pawn gets pinned. For example, like if takes, then you lose your rook. So bishop b7, the rook's defended. When a takes b5 is played, you can take back with the pawn. But we'll see what happens here.
So, Kevin, do you know something about the match strategy? What strategy is preferable for the match?
From what I've seen, it seems like typically the professionals at the top level, they're especially in these matches, not like the round robin formats, they're a lot less willing to take risk until they need to. So if they like lose a game early and they need to make it back, then sure they'll take a lot more risk. But it seems like they try to play ultra solid for as long as possible, and then like towards the end of a match or going into tie breaks, then that's where things get a little crazier. So could just be trying to play solid chess, and it's just kind of like every other level, just that they do it better than everyone else.
I know some easy rule. It sounds easy, but I guess it's not really easy to make it. When you play black in matches, you need to make a draw. When you play white, you need to win. So it sounds really very easy.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, no palms behind me today. Yes, yesterday it was really so. I had like jungles behind me, but I decided today that the light goes out fast, the sun goes down, and I find myself, somewhere in the night. So it's better to be like this today.
Very nice, very nice.
It's so nice that you remember everything and you were yesterday and today again with us.
Yeah, they
Thank
have
you.
a keen eye for details.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's what makes Nero a good chess player as well. Just the attention to details,
Yes, exactly.
which no one's mentioned another key detail in the difference between yesterday and today. But we'll see if anyone notices. Oksana and I were talking about it before the stream started.
Yes, I noticed right before the our broadcast.
Hey, Aveg, how
Guess
you
guess
doing?
what is it?
Aveg, Cho, welcome in, welcome in. Okay. But yeah, I mean it seems pretty solid. Pretty solid. The um, whites building up on pawns on the light squares. They also have the light square bishop outside of that pawn chain, and um, meanwhile black's got pawns in both colors, but both bishops, ideally in the long term, will serve some use. But I mean right now it's kind of still flexible in terms of how the position will develop.
I guess it's still theory because, for example, yesterday, um, this all the series stopped, if I remember right, on ninth move.
Yep. Both players moving relatively quickly. I mean, they've only used less than a minute of their clock so far, so
Yes, I know. So they know exactly what to play. So they were ready for this opening.
yeah. Oh, Ave is asking if she plans to push for d5. I don't think d5 is in the cards right away, but I wouldn't say it's never a possibility. But I don't think it's necessarily the immediate plan here. I mean, I would think that this knight on c6 needs to move, and even then, I feel like there's still more room for improvement before then. I mean, I think in general, right? Like both players are just doing everything to develop their pieces right now, and then they'll go from there. They're really just trying to put pieces on better squares for the time being. Magician, welcome in, welcome. Right, that okay, so Powerful Knight, the full username is Powerful Knight on C6. That's their Twitch username. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's they we have a knight on C6. That's exactly what their username is. Oksana, you said you're on holiday or like on vacation in Bangkok, right?
Yes, right. I'm on my holiday.
What have you been doing like during the day?
Mm, I'm trying to have some physical trainings. I started to go to Muay Thai
Whoa,
box. Yeah, and it's so fantastic. I really like it, and I never thought that it would be so good.
very, very cool.
So yeah, so tomorrow we have a day off on the tournament, and of course during the day off it's really good time for players to go somewhere, but for commentators as well. And tomorrow I have my Muay Thai session.
That's amazing. That's really cool. Um, yeah, that's intense, but it seems like it'll be a lot of fun. Have you done Muay Thai in the past, or is this like
No,
completely
no,
new?
never. This my first trainings. Yes. Tomorrow will be the third.
Very neat, very neat. Uh, Alexandra goes for B4, and I'm assuming she's gonna go for A5 next. And I guess the goal
Mhm.
would be just kind of wedge these two pawns in on dark squares, and kind of do her best to one negate the dark square bishop, but also two to take away a square from the knight develop. Well, two squares, I guess. Um, so we'll
She
see.
spent a little bit more time for B4. Probably it seems that she chose what line to play. Probably.
Right. Well, I guess. I mean, if you're trying to wedge the two pawns in, that's all great. But um, in reality, I feel like if you're trying to control these squares, white can just play c3 and immediately challenge the pawn, right? And I guess it's like if white plays c3, are you gonna take and help their development, or are you gonna still play a5 and then allow them to take and just have this knight stuck defending the b4 square? And
Yes, having the having a strong pawn on b4 can be not really pleasant for white.
right, and but it's everything comes with balance. There's strengths and uh weaknesses to every move, right? And um that whole sequence would turn into have white having a passed a pawn. Obviously, it's not going anywhere right now, but it could be something to consider for the future. Just because you always have to think about the long term effect of the position after something like c3, a5, and takes. Now the a pawn in the long term, if everything else disappeared from the board, the a pawn would just run. So um, obviously not like a immediate, it's not like a threat, and unless it becomes a threat, but still something to consider. Ah, Flyer stayed up to watch this. You're so excited. Very nice. I look tired. Oh no. Well, let me
Sleepy, I guess.
let me wake up. Let me wake up. We'll do a stretch here and there. Ugh. I do need a. Okay, 2 nights ago, before the first day of commentary, it was hard to uh make myself go to sleep early. But yesterday I was so tired, it was much easier to fall asleep early.
yeah, we have a c3 on our board. c3.
So now the decision is kind of, do you take and again like help the knight develop, or do you play a5? I think both have merit to it. Um, we'll see what Alexandra decides to do. And I guess I don't know. I was thinking if you did take and the knight took, like the a pawns are fixed against each other, right?
Yeah, still I think we need to play a5 just to give more space for black.
A5 immediately, or if after takes
No, after take. But it's just I think one of the options. I guess it's mm, all the theory, and our players, they just choose what to play.
Yeah. Well, even like eventually sliding in like rook b8, like if you take and the b file is a semi-open file, could put some pressure on the b2 square, I guess, long term.
Yeah, probably it also could be.
Oh, d5 is also now a possibility according to a vague.
d5 at what moment?
I I'm not sure if they're saying d5 now or after this whole thing. But even if the knight's on d3, then definitely not, right? I mean, I feel like bishop and pawn is already, well, I don't know. Like, is that just creating weaknesses unnecessarily?
Oh, bishop b3, it's already on the board. Hmm.
Wait, bishop b3?
Yeah, bishop b3.
Oh, right. Like it's like supporting. It's like helping to stop d5. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it loses. I mean, it doesn't lose material immediately, but should we play it and just see what the what use the aid of the engine and see what happens here?
Yeah, let's make it a bit engine because it's really very tough position.
So I guess the first thing is, well, if like white just ignores it and takes here, would you not want to take with like bishop? Because at the end of this whole line, if bishop takes, knight takes, aren't you putting more pressure here? But at the same time, then all of a sudden, like, oh wait, you'd be hanging the e pawn. Never mind. Probably you would take on e4. Yeah, I think that at the end of all this, like, at the end of all this, doesn't like white just play b5 and then kicks your knight out and then you drop the e pawn? I I mean, the engine's saying like you just have to say, okay, you gambited the b pawn away, and you just play bishop d6 and try and hold this.
Yeah,
Like
probably
if
bishop d6. It's a really nice move because bishop a pawn on e5. It's really very, I guess, important pawn. It's it feels like black wants to keep this pawn.
right, and yeah, I think it looks like you can win the b pawn, but not without dropping another pawn. So it's not quite time for d5. But perhaps that's what Alexandra is spending a little bit of time here calculating. Is she push? Can she just calmly play a5? Can she take? You know, what are the different possibilities? Because even if knight takes back, in theory, like this d pawn is a little weak, right? So in the long term, so maybe maybe at some point you would want to open up the d file to get to the d3 pawn, or find another way to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and a little reminder that the time control is 90 minutes for the first 40 moves, followed by 30 minutes for the rest of the game, with an increment of 30 seconds. So chess players call this like 5-hour time control.
Yes, yes. I wonder. Yeah. I wonder. I mean, either a5 or takes, but then maybe even just like rook e8 help support the e pawn in the long run, and then maybe even something like bishop f8 and then push. Obviously, I'm giving black a ton of moves in a row, but could be one way to move forward if white doesn't take initiative.
I guess that in first minutes, all grandmasters, they see the main options, and of course they just calculate these main options, because nothing new can be invented.
Yeah. That's what the preparation time before the match is for.
Yes, yesterday we mentioned that it's really very important sometimes to guess what opening will be at the round. And of course, it's a very tough match between Alexandra Goryachkina and Alexandra Kosteniuk. They have really close rating. Goryachkina has 2584, and Alexandra Kosteniuk, she has 2521.
Right.
So Goryachkina has a little bit higher rating. And they had 17 classical games between each other, and Kosteniuk is overall in the lead 6-3 with 8 draws. So it's really very interesting what gonna be now.
That's some good insight into the historical setting of this matchup. Alexandra does play rook b8, and here it's basically using this open, semi-open file or soon-to-be open file. Maybe looking to apply some pressure on the bishop on b3 at some point.
We have a great comment here. So they may have close ratings, but there is only one chess queen.
Exactly,
Nice.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's very wise, very astute observation. Oh, yes, Charlie Flea. That's a very, very good note as well. He says, hey, KD learns and doesn't sleep, all in one name. So maybe I need to change my username to KD learns and doesn't sleep. I got 6 hours of sleep. It wasn't everything I wanted, but it was something. Something to.
It's very interesting. How many hours do the chess players sleep?
Actually, that is a good question. I don't know the answer. Like, how do chess players typically sleep less or more than most people?
I know exactly that a lot of chess players, they don't like to wake up early. So that's why this time, usually 3 p.m. is much comfortable, yes, for a lot of chess players.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I wonder if it's because they're staying up late or just because they need more sleep. But it's I don't know. Like, I feel like to maximize your chess performance, you need to have good rest and good nutrition and even like good fitness. And rest / sleep, like, those are very, very, very important for peak performance. Chess.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you, because even I tested, and I'm testing my new fitness bracelet, and is tracking my sleep, and it's really very interesting statistic, because there are all information about all the sleep stages, like light sleep, REM sleep, deep sleep, awake during the night. So it's really very interesting, and usually it calculates at the morning how was my sleep, and then how many energy I have for today.
Very nice. Yeah. Well,
it would be great to have these bracelets on our chess players, and we could see these statistics.
Right. And like chess players, when there's a lot of heavy calculations going on, don't they, like, their heart rate and everything can increase, and like they'll burn more calories and all that stuff. Yeah, that would be very interesting to see what their average heart rate is, what their, like, when their heart rate spikes, like what's going on on the board, like what's the position look like. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
At the same time, we likely will never get to see something like that happen, because that would be an electronic, and with all of the recent cheating drama,
Yes, yes.
then I don't think anyone wants to allow an electronic on a player, even for study purposes, in a playing hall.
So unfortunately, we will never know. We can only guess, and we can't even check how many calories are you losing during a chess game.
Right, right. Oh, also, Luther Bandos says that they think that chess players sleep less in general, which could be, but I think it might be something. Maybe that's something in the long run that will change if, or at least at the professional level. And maybe, I mean, we don't really know, right? Like, maybe the professionals actually do sleep a lot. But if you think about professional athletes, I think a lot of the best professional athletes actually end up sleeping like 9 hours a day, or like more than the average person, because they have to perform physically at such a high intensity that they actually end up sleeping more to recover. Like, as part of their job is that they have to sleep more.
Yes, of course, because they have a lot of stress, and I mean, stress. It's not just mental or psychology things, but even physical. It's a stress too. So all the things that can affect as a stress.
Yes. And sometimes you'll
Okay.
see stress as higher heart rate, but sometimes it can be cumulative and even more damaging. So, but going back to the heart rate, Charlie is asking if Hikaru did something similar with the heart rate on stream, and I'm not sure if Hikaru did that, but I know, like, I've seen some streamers have like a heart rate monitor with like the heart rate like on screen. Um, but yeah, I mean, people have done it in the past. Just
I remember that we had some TV shows when we could see the grandmasters playing Blitz, and we could see at the same time the heart rate, but was like a TV show. It's quite interesting.
that's pretty cool.
So, okay, now we have two moves. Yes.
We do.
Yeah, two moves on our board. C takes b4 and bishop a8.
So yeah, and Alexander played bishop a8 like immediately after c takes b4.
Yeah.
So this was her idea, was rook b8 and temporarily gambiting a pawn, but preparing to win it back. And I guess even after b5 to attempt to hold on to the pawn, a takes b, rook can take because the queen is defending the bishop. So everything is still safe for both colors at that point.
Yes, of course. When you have some plan, so don't waste time. Just play fast as you can. So don't waste time on bishop a8, for example.
Right, and it's like she already spent the time calculating bishop a8 when she played rook b8. So it's like, okay, it's going straight into the line. You can do a quick check over, but yeah, no need to invest too much time for that review.
Bishop a8 looks automatic. We have a comment. Not really. I get that bishop on a8. This bishop is light squared, and it should walk on all the diagonal. Yes, and bishop on c8. It's like between queen and rook, so it's not really comfortable to have it between pieces.
I was thinking that after this whole event right here, if you allow the rook to pin the bishop to the queen, I feel like that's not very human. But I guess the idea is just to get the rook out of there immediately and have it go trade off or something. I don't know. That seems like it'd be hard to naturally think about as a human, but maybe if it was theory, but I don't know about having that be a natural move. Okay, so we do have b5 and takes. We also have takes back. Probably gonna see rook takes b5 and carry on.
Yes, we have rook takes b5. Okay, I guess we can see in a few moves what was the best place for our bishop.
Oh, wait. Okay, and then Oksana, can we both promote rook takes b5 to the main line? So if you right click on the move rook takes b5, there should be a menu and
Promote, yeah.
Yep, okay. Let me know when you promote it.
Yes, I promote it.
Okay, perfect. I wonder if so I have like an Apple Watch. I wonder if I could make this show the heart rate on screen. I have to look into that. Do some research.
Probably you can open your desktop version and catch it.
Yeah. Okay, yes. You can do it. I don't know, like I have a PC, I don't have a Mac. So I'll have to figure out how to
So it's quite difficult. But why do you have a PC with the Apple Watch?
Yeah. Well, it says that
probably because of chess programs, I know. Because a lot of chess programs, they have versions only for PC, unfortunately. For example, I cannot install, for example, ChessBase, but ChessBase is the most like powerful computer program for chess players.
Oh wait, so you have a Mac?
Yes, I do.
that makes sense because isn't like the Macs are definitely more for also, or not like either or, but typically more like video and producing people have Macs.
Yes, it's more for creative industry, I think, and but I'm working on Mac already. I don't know, about more than 20 years, I guess.
Yeah. sorry. Uh, my background is in finance. So in the finance world, it's only PC. We're like, oh, Mac, no, no, no way. Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, we do everything in Excel, and Microsoft Excel is best on PC in my opinion, but different.
Yes. Yeah, probably somehow you can install it because I see all the comments, but
Yeah.
it's quite complicated. Of course, you can install parallel desktop for Windows, but it's too complicated and I don't need it too much. So
Great. Okay, and we have the knight developing to a very natural square. The rook will likely go back. Rook
knight
b8.
c3.
I think, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I'm just confused because I'm not in my normal streaming room because my normal streaming room is right next to my bedroom, and my girlfriend is still sleeping because it's 5 a.m. and so I actually switched like offices with her. So uh, she plays the violin. So like behind me there should, oh wait, okay, there's like a music stand and everything, and this is her like violin room slash studio. And I think I kicked something off of a chair. Like there's a little ottoman that you can put your feet on, but she has a bunch of books on it. So I tried to put my feet on it, and I think I kicked some things off of there. So I'll have to do some cleaning later. Oh boy.
Yes, actually, live broadcasting is not really comfortable thing in chess because it's too long. Yes,
Yeah.
and your your loved ones must really have endure.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And there we have rook b8. Aveg was saying she could have been planning to play queen b8 to put more pressure on the b file, but she opts for rook b8 instead. I see what you mean. She could have played like rook b6 and then queen b8, just putting more pressure on this light square bishop. But yeah, I wonder if like even just like rook a3 could have worked. But yeah, which is like a little bit unnatural for the rook to be on the third rank, but at the same time, it's also a little bit unnatural for black's rook to be on the sixth rank. Depends.
So what can be a plan for white as well? Probably to move knight on d5 as well.
Yeah. Seems like that'd be a great square for it to land on. Opens up the dark square bishop as well. And knight d5 also stops knight b4, because knight b4 right now, the bishop's blocked, right? And then also the d pawn would be hit. But then if you play knight d5, not only does it open up the bishop, because then the rook is the only thing defending the b5 square. But also the knight on d5 would actually protect the square as well.
Yeah, probably after knight d5, we can take this knight and try to go on d4, probably b4.
Yeah, so I guess if knight here, black would probably take. He takes d5, and then knight 4.
Or probably even knight d4.
Oh, knight d4, yeah.
Probably, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Or do you think? Or do you think? Or do you think White's just gonna say, "Oh, like I'll pass the move back and just sit here and wait to see what you do"? I don't know. Ah, welcome in, PMD, Pawn March Destroyer. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you here. Oh my, no, PMD. That's not how it's going. That is definitely not how it's going. I'm the one doing the learning. Oksana is the one leading the way. Oh, and we do see knight d5.
So yes, we see knight d5. So yes, let's see how Alexandra will play.
Yeah. It is a great square for the knight, so do you want to get rid of the knight immediately? And also, yeah. Do you want to get rid of the knight immediately, or do you want to take another approach?
Yeah, probably immediately. Yeah, we can try.
Linux is trying to stay awake. Oof. Oof. Oh yeah, Linux. You're also in the US, right? Kentucky. Yes. Okay. I'll remember that now. Whew. So you're up late or up early? That's the question there. And if you need help staying awake, I would at minimum stay hydrated. No, but are you staying up late? As in, like, did you not go to bed last night and you're just still awake, or did you wake up early? Like, did you sleep and wake up early? That's what I was asking.
Especially for our live broadcasting.
Because I had a friend, Brentino. We did some commentating at, what was it? I think it was at like 5 a.m. for me, but he's on the West Coast, so it was 2 a.m. for him. And he decided that he would just stay up instead of go to sleep. So I don't know why he signed up, or I think he only signed up because he didn't realize it was at 2 a.m. And then yeah, he was really tired by the end of it.
Yeah, of course, it's not only one option to take knight. Of course, black can play knight d4.
Yeah.
It's a good option too.
True. But okay, so if you play knight d4, it's takes, right? Wait, so okay. What happens after takes? Takes?
Mm.
Like this seems like I don't know. I mean, like the pawn on d3 is hard to get to. This d4 pawn is kind of out there. And if you build up on the dark squares, I guess the question is like, what are you doing with your own dark square bishop for black? Not sure. If knight d4,
But you can see, yeah, that the light squared bishop now on a8 is looking good.
true. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe at some point white could sack an exchange if the light squared bishop gets too powerful. But I will say, so I did some commentary for Dina Belankaya, who is a woman grandmaster, and she's trying to get to the international master title, and she was telling us that in a lot of her games in the past, like she considers an exchange sacrifice, but can't really see any concrete reason why it does or does not work. So she'll just not play it because it's like, oh, like it's just a feeling. Like I can't fully explain it, so I'm not gonna like sacrifice an exchange for no reason. But then every time she reviews it, it's like, oh, like top engine move, and it's like, oh yeah, like when you go deep enough, you just continue to like prove why it works. And so I'm not saying that the sacking the exchange right now is what white should be doing. I'm just saying that it's a concept that for me is pretty foreign. Like I'm obviously like I've seen it in professional games or in studies or like just like annotated analysis, but to me it is a foreign concept. Like I would be in the same boat as being super uncomfortable trying to sacrifice the exchange. But just for anyone else in chat who also feels like it's a foreign idea, it's good to know that literally there are chess masters who also feel not super solid. But that's that chess master, and then you have like the women's candidates. Like it's a big gap, because like going from 2300 or so all the way up to 2500, that's a huge jump. So I'm sure Chess Queen and all the other competitors here are a lot more familiar with it.
Alexandra Kosteniuk, she has 1 hour and 8 minutes right now for the rest moves of the first time control, and Goryachkina has a little bit more, just 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Yep. Knight takes d5 is Alexandra's ultimate decision here. And Oksana, could you promote knight takes d5 as well?
Yeah, just a minute.
No rush.
It's classical game, no rush.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I promote it.
Right. But I guess it'll be interesting, which square does a knight go to? Well, I guess white has to decide if they're taking with a pawn or the bishop. But actually,
yeah, so we chose this line too. And now we can see what will happen next. It's interesting to guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Hmm. I don't know. Would you take with the pawn or the bishop?
I would take with a bishop. No, with a bishop.
Oh,
Guess you cannot because of the pawn on
yeah.
b2. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
you kind of have to
white.
take with the pawn.
Yeah. Or probably it's possible. What will happen? Do they lose this pawn? No. No,
Yeah.
you can't take this pawn on b2 because of the queen c1. I guess yes.
Oh, if you take with the pawn and then
Yeah, it. They will play queen c1, and we see that it's impossible.
uh like if bishop takes and then knight d4 and
Yeah.
c1.
No, I mean you cannot take the pawn on b2 after bishop takes d5.
Oh, like immediately. I feel like there's some tactics there with um yeah, I mean queen c1, but then also
And after rook b6, we have bishop e3. So
I'm a little lost. So you're saying if here you can't take on b2 right away, right?
yes,
Yeah. Queen c1. Yeah, and it's where do you go? I feel like one of these two. I feel like the either the knight or the bishop will be lost. Oh, I guess.
yeah. So you will lose some pieces, and bishop e3. So yeah, that's why the pawn on b2 is not a good pawn for black.
Sorry, bishop where?
Bishop e3.
Oh yeah. Oof. Yeah, and you can't play knight d4. First off, it would lose a pawn. That would lose a pawn, but also it would lose the bishop.
Mm.
So don't be too greedy with those
Mm.
pawns. Yeah, that's a nice
Yes.
find.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess Goryachkina is going through and yeah, going through all those calculations, and this seems like it would be a moment where it could change the position quite a bit. Because I mean, obviously you're either changing your pawn structure, or you're calculating all these different lines of can black really take that, or can black even play like I was thinking like knight b4 because you're hitting the oh no, this also loses. I was thinking, oh, you know why it loses? I bet because of takes. If you oh, not that. It must be because of there's something with this knight is loose. Like this rook would have to help defend take the bishop.
Oh,
Yeah.
Goryachkina, she is already preferred to play with pawn.
Yeah, that's it.
E takes d5.
Right.
Okay, so she calculated, and somehow she didn't like to take it with bishop. So Alexandra preferred knight d4.
Yep. None of this knight b4 nonsense. Is this also bad? Oh gosh. Why am I hanging a piece every time? What doesn't work here? I think yeah. It's this because then you take, you lose your knight. Ah, okay. I'm glad I'm not playing this game. Okay, knight b4. I was see chat, sometimes the fork distracts you. I was like, you forked the pawns and you're good to go. But no, you actually lose a piece, so it's good to look for it, but you also have to like prove it. You can't just play whatever.
Okay, you have your fork with you, and I have
Oh,
the things.
okay.
Yes, you can see.
Very nice, very nice. I like it, I like it. All right. Came prepared for a fight.
Yeah, we are prepared for the fight.
Yep. Wow. Look at this colorful stack of 4 pawns here. Have you seen that in a game recently? My gosh. Just bishop.
So this is the beauty of chess.
Wow. I guess you can really separate kingside play from queenside play now. Like it's just a great divide between the two sides here.
Okay, yeah, so we already have this line on our board.
Oh, can white pile up pressure on e7 now? I mean, I think the bishop could just move. I mean, technically yes, but I think, yeah, the bishop can just move out of the way. Yeah, yeah, Linux. I was thinking the same thing, but I'm not sure. Well, okay. So Oksana, do you know who Dina Belenkaya and Andrea Botez are? Like the Botez sisters?
Yes, I've heard and I've seen as
Okay.
well.
Okay. And do you know Dina?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they are doing a chess boxing match against each other.
Do they have it offline?
No, no, it's
Or
gonna
online?
be yeah, it's gonna be live streamed and everything. It's happening in LA, in Los Angeles, and that's actually what I'm gonna be traveling for. I'm gonna be at that event. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, technically I'll be there supporting Dina, so hopefully, yeah, hopefully it will. Hopefully, I just hope that no one gets knocked out. But obviously, I would like to see Dina win. where can we get tickets to see this? Well, you can go to Ludwig is the creator that's running the whole event, and oh yeah. Okay, so it's going to be at the Galen Center, and if you go to Ludwig's Twitter profile, you can go and click on his pinned tweet, and it'll have a link to buy tickets. But I'm really excited. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, Dina has been training very intensely for it. Yeah, Kane. She's been putting in the work, so it's good stuff.
How many games do they have? And how many games in chess and in boxing?
So it's one game of chess. So you play. I think you play for 2 minutes of chess, and then you play, and then you box for a minute and a half, and then you keep alternating until someone gets checkmated, or runs out of time, or until someone gets knocked out. So it's just pretty intense.
Yeah. Sounds a little bit dangerous.
Yeah. Yes.
Especially in boxing section.
Yeah. Well, it's also like it's funny because you're like, oh, it's like the two separate things, but when you try to box for a minute and a half, you're getting hit or you're moving around a lot, and then you go and try and use your brain. It's like, whoa, like, it's really hard to go from physical to mental that quickly.
Yes, I've heard that some sportsmen that they really usually in chess boxing they really strong at boxing and not really good in chess. Yeah, sure. They need to work on health first before boxing because it's really very big aerobic stress for body.
Oh, and Linux is saying that they're not sure who to bet on because Dina seems experienced, but Andrea is spunky. That's a very interesting choice of words, but from a chess perspective, like Dina is a WGM, and Andrea is like basically US expert level. So Dina has an advantage on the chessboard, but at the same time, it's like essentially playing blitz, where anything can happen, right? So it's not like a guarantee that Dina is gonna win in the chess, and like we were saying, the boxing can very much affect the chess performance. um, and what else? Like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, over the board blitz, really anything can happen.
I hope that it will be safety.
Oh, they do box with headgear, so at least there's more protection on the head. But it's like protection for the head, not protection for like your nose. Oh, also, can you promote E takes D4? Then I'll promote as well.
Yeah, just a minute.
Okay. Maybe Goryachkina is just. Oh wait, no. Oh, Goryachkina played Queen C2.
Oh, already?
Yes.
Yeah, Queen C2.
And I was gonna say maybe Goryachkina was taking time on this move just to appreciate the beauty of the position. I mean, yeah. If we could
But
get
still now, yeah, she can choose where to play after with her rooks.
True. Charlie was saying in chat that if we could have kept the queen on d1 and gotten the bishop to d2, then it would have been a perfectly symmetrical d file. It was too good to be true,
Yeah.
though. Too good.
And rook on b1, yeah.
Right. But is the other rook gonna be coming to the c1, just putting pressure on the c pawn? No, how do you... I've never seen this position before, or any position like this before, so I'm struggling to come up with a plan. But, I mean, apparently Queen c2 gives black opportunity to equalize, because this is the first time it's said 0-0 on the board.
Yeah, so the engine thinks that it's a draw. Symmetrical draw.
Right.
Yeah, so probably black can try to win a pawn on d5, but white has option with a black pawn on c7.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was gonna say, like, Queen d7 kind of runs into bishop a4. But where do you put this queen? Like, it would be nice to, like, make room for the f rook to come support the c pawn, so the b rook, so the rook on b8 is still putting pressure on the b file, right? Actually, Queen d7, bishop a4, queen f5 looks kind of nice. So
Yeah,
maybe
I guess black wants to have some more space for their pieces, and somehow they need to choose the plan for giving this space. Yes, probably what can they do?
Okay, I'm gonna cheat and I'm looking at the engine lines for a second. Apparently, bishop g5 to try and trade the bishops off, or
and make pressure on d5, yeah.
or bishop f6 or bishop h4. So basically, this bishop needs to move. That's what the engine's telling us. For the highest accuracy, not like win or lose here, but just to get as close to possible to a equalized position. The bishop needs to move to any of the legal squares. Just you accidentally touch the bishop and it's touch move rules, then you'll be fine because all bishop moves are equalizing.
Yeah, you can choose whatever you like.
Right.
Because all squares for dark light bishop are available.
Right.
What's the logic of bishop h4? Probably to go with the queen on f6.
Yeah.
No, it's
But
just an option.
yeah, it seems. Right. Actually, some of those lines are saying like queen c8, which really doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I don't think bishop h4 is very human to play, but bishop g5. But to be honest, like, how bad is queen d7? Apparently bishop a4. Queen f5. Oh. Mind? Can't play queen f5? I'm just so
Yes, you
before
lose your bishop.
right. Previously I was hanging pieces tactically, and now I'm just hanging them in one move. I okay. Okay, so if if it's hanging in one move, then obviously Alexandra will see it. So she's not gonna. Probably queen d7 is out of the picture. Instead, she's probably looking. I don't know, maybe like queen c8 or any of these bishop moves that we're talking about. Which, I mean, the bishop and queen are coordinated, right? So I guess why put the queen on a light square and disconnect them? I don't know. It's easier in our position to take a look at all this than it is for the two competitors at the board.
Actually, yes. Now we have a half of the first time control. about 20 moves. We are right now.
Would you like to take a short break?
Yeah, we can have a short break right now, and we'll back in 5 probably minutes.
Sounds
How do you
good.
feel?
Everybody, refill your water and make sure you're staying hydrated during this commentary watch session. And we will see you in a few minutes here, 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, stay with us.
All right, we'll see when the symmetrical pawns on the d file get broken up, but hopefully not yet. Not yet. And we are on break. See you in a few.
Okay, yes.
welcome back, everybody.
Yes, welcome to the live broadcast of Women's Candidates Tournament Pool B, taking place in Khiva, Uzbekistan. So we are following for our lovely match, Alexandra Kosteniuk versus Alexandra Goryachkina.
And it is game 2 of the quarterfinals, and the winner will play the winner of the other quarterfinals in Pool B, and then the winner of that semifinals will play the winner of Pool A, who is Lei Ting-jae, and the winner of that gets to take a crack at the reigning world champion, who is Ju Wen-jun.
Yes, so this is a new knockout system for the women's world chess title.
Okay. And Alexandra,
yes, what's going on now?
she found the top move to equalize, which was bishop g5, looking to trade the dark square bishops off. And Goryachkina goes for bishop a4, and all of a sudden we see that eval bar. Wait, no, excuse me. I made an incorrect move. Bishop a5 with the dark square bishop. Oh, no wonder why. I was like, that didn't make any sense. Okay.
Oh, because yes, I was afraid. So what's happened?
Yeah, I was like, why would she go there? Anyway, I was still stuck in my lines with like queen d7 when I was trying to hang my bishop, and but back to reality. Bishop a5, which is on this square here, to avoid the trade of dark square bishops, and actually, in fact, place more pressure on this c pawn. So it's a little bit of a cat and mouse chasing the pieces around the board, but ultimately, even though these two pawns, you could argue the c pawn is a little bit better than the isolated b pawn, white is doing their best job to keep the c pawn as a weakness for black instead of a strength.
But in the same time, you can't take the pawn right on the next move. So, for example, if black will prefer to play queen d7, for example, yes, you cannot take the pawn, I guess, right away because of the rook takes b3, and then queen takes the other bishop on c7.
Yep. 2 bishops for a rook would be great for black.
Probably, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Well, I guess 2.
But we can check why it's really not good to take right away. For example, after queen d7.
Yeah. The 2 pieces for, well, I guess 2 pieces for rook and pawn, but in general, thing, right?
No, I guess it's much better just to defend this pawn, not to have some tricky options.
Right. Well, this is... Yeah, I guess it's not super sharp, but you just can't take the pawn. You take it with the queen?
No, you just with the queen. No, with the queen.
Because then you're hanging the bishop.
Because of the bishop, bishop b3. No, if you take it with the bishop.
Okay, now that the bishop's not hanging on e7 when the queen moves, now can white play this and... Because it could lead towards simplification if you play queen f5. Because now if you do drop this pawn, you can take on d5. I guess it depends on what you take with though. Take with the bishop, you
But
can't.
engine says that it's good to have two bishop for the rook.
Yeah. I think yeah, two bishops for a rook should be good. Oh, Powerful Knight is asking where is Oksana's cat.
I don't know why, but she's sleeping during all the day.
Yeah.
Capucha, capucha. No, she's not interesting today in our live broadcasting story, but probably, well, when she will hungry, she'll back to us.
Yep. Yep. Did you fly with her to Bangkok?
Yes, yes, and that was really very interesting travel. Because we travel with my husband and cat a lot, but on our car, and never had some flights with the cat. And now we decided to fly with the cat, and I had like a homework to go through all airlines rules, and now I know all the pet policy in all airlines of the world, I think.
Yeah.
Not a lot of air companies welcome to cat or dog on board, so it was a nice flight.
uh, was your cat like able to stay calm, or was it like panicking during the flight? Was it pretty calm?
No, she's okay when she is somewhere near with us. So she's really a good cat.
Good.
We don't have a lot of problems with her. She, she has a breed Devon Rex, and it's all people say that it's like a cat but with behavior of dog. So it's very nice cats.
Easier to take care of than the dog. Can you? I think we'll have to promote this twice because we went down two different analysis lines. But can you promote Queen D7 two times?
Yeah, Queen D7 two times. Yeah. Okay. Are we good now?
Uh,
She's worried about that pawn. It just, I think it's just was one option of a few. Because anyway, she had to do something with this pawn on C7.
right, and the other drawback of Rook B7 would have been this bishop having 0 squares. Literally 0 squares. There's nowhere for this bishop to go if you put the rook right in front of it, and all of a sudden you're playing as if you're down a piece. Because the bishop has no purpose. It can't see anywhere. Yeah, it of course, like in that position, you look at like rook c8 and bishop e7, but then as soon as you see, okay, what is my bishop doing? It would, if you can find any other solution, you're gonna avoid the one that puts you down a piece. And Alexandra was able to calculate this, where no matter what is taken the c7 pawn, it is fine for black, and pretty sharp position now. Flyer, after queen f5, Alexandra would win the pawn on d5. That's correct, but it just depends on how you lose your c pawn. Again, this is getting into some sharp chess territory, because you're gonna lose the c pawn if you go for queen f5. But yes, you'll win the d pawn. But also, okay, well, if you take the c pawn with the bishop, then what are you doing with your rook? So it's kind of big question mark, right? And also, like, you can't even defend the d pawn, because any square that defends it is covered by the bishop. So it's there's a lot flying around the board right now. I like that. Wait, Illustrak is saying that if bishop takes c7, rook c8. Uh-oh, pen. And you're gonna win the bishop. So, but not right away. Hold on. What do we calculate here?
Oh, you just calculated because I was surprised. Oh,
Yeah.
she moved. No, it's
sorry.
just our calculations.
It might be rook b7 then, because the issue with rook c8 is that they can always do this, right?
But engine says that my option with the rook takes b3, it's
Oh yeah.
it's a good line.
I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the two bishops for the rook and a pawn.
Yeah.
That was Oksana's calculation from before, right? And Samarost, welcome.
Yes, welcome to our live broadcast.
Oh, Oksana, I have a question. So, you said that you work in video and producing, right?
Yes, right.
What type of videos do you produce? Like, what's the
I have a lot of advertising in my portfolio. I have a lot of action stories for Red Bull company. I even have some documentaries in the top of the Red Bull Media House catalog.
Okay.
And I have a lot of clients from different industries. But I really want to make a focus now on films, on feature films. So recently I made a short movie, so I will have a try now to send it on some movie festivals.
That's very, very cool. Exciting.
Yes, I really like this my job, yes, and so I'm producer as well as a director, so it's really very interesting. You have a lot of interesting clients, a lot of interesting stories, and there are a lot of space for creativity.
Wait, so you're also the director, which means like you're on set, like trying to like direct the acting?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's really cool. Very, very cool. Uh-oh, we get into bishop a4 on the board, and as Kat was noting, like this whole queen f5, like there might be a big ol' simplification at some point. But queen f5 and still can't
But
take.
actually, how we can make simplification of the equal position?
Right, right. But I think if queen f5 still can't take here, rook c8, right? And then actually, how do you even? I think this is stuck, but you just move the queen. Maybe not.
I think it's not really good option to take on c7 with the bishop, because right now you have not really good c line, a lot of tension, and it's always not really pleasant. It's very easy to lose your bishop.
Yeah. And another thing is that if we can, so Alexandra does play queen f5. Can we both promote queen f5?
Yeah, she did. She
She's playing some sharp
Yeah.
sharp chess here, because this is not like a supernatural move. Like this is we have the comfort of knowing that that's the best move, because we just look at the computer and it tells us that's the best move, and it's easier to like, okay, yes, it's the best move, of course, because of reasons X, Y, and Z. But when you have to make that argument yourself, it's a lot more difficult.
We were talking about the match strategy in the beginning of our broadcasting, and we mentioned that chess players they have easy strategy. With black, you need to make a draw. With white, you need to win. But you see that simplification is not really interesting for black right now.
Yeah.
But still, the engine thinks it's equal. But you know, equal for engine and equal for people, for human, yeah, it's a really big difference between it.
Yeah, you know what would be interesting is, I know like bishop takes c7 definitely is not like a forced line or anything, but can you even play a nice little intermezzo, a Zwischenzug? Queen takes d5? Because you're threatening mate in 1, so you can't take the rook. So then you kind of have to make some sort of movement with the f. Oh! You don't have to play f3, you can play f4 because of this. The queen would defend. All of a sudden, your rook's still hanging. Wow. How ridiculous. That's actually ridiculous. But to go one more ridiculous line further, rook c8, just giving this up entirely, because you can take this bishop, because if the queen takes, then it's mate.
Bishop on c7, yeah. And you can take the rook because of the checkmate. It's nice, yes. Okay, so we have now the move from Goryachkina, bishop c6. Bishop c6.
Ah.
The other one, yeah.
So now, just threatening to actually take on c7. Why not take and then like rook f to c8? Kind of still keeping rook on the open file, or I guess.
Yeah, you see this bishop on a8, it's strategical bishop.
Yeah. So if bishop takes and d takes c6, and we finally would ruin our perfect 4 pawn tower in the middle of the d file. But would you want to put the f rook or the b rook on c8?
Mhm.
Oksana, do you have a preference on which rook to place on c8?
I would prefer to play with probably with f,
Yeah.
because we need to pressure on on pawn b2, on b2 pawn.
We're heading
So
that way.
let's check now.
Oh, and if you could promote d takes c6.
Because if you play with rook b, it seems not really comfortable for black, because we have pressure out of pawn on b2, and it seems we don't have plans.
Right.
Yeah, we see.
There it is.
That's, yes, I hope that it's right. Right line.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm checking time to time the official broadcasting,
Yeah.
and always when I'm checking, because I always hope to see the playing venue, but I cannot to see something more than the game with Lagno and Tan.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, because there are some interesting line on the game, and so they always discuss this game and this line.
Yep. Maybe. Well, after. Wait, if one of the players starts to think a little bit longer, then maybe we also take a look at that Kang Jung Yi and Agno game.
Yeah, probably let's make a fast
Yeah.
analyze.
But actually, really quickly for this position, like, what is like now that like the quadruple pawn stack is no longer, white does have a D, C, and B pawn. What if white just starts trying to connect those 2 pawns? Well, I guess they would have to probably put a rook there first, right?
Yes, they can make it, but I guess black will prevent it.
Oh wait, also Ave says that rook b5. So okay, so I guess if like b4. Okay, well b4 rook b5 looks a little bit less good, just because the bishop's protected by the pawn as well.
Yes, because how the white can make more pressure on c7 pawn. With what piece?
Right.
I cannot find any.
The only thing I could see would be the not a piece, but the b pawn.
Yeah, only the way with B pawn, but black, of course, will not. Yeah,
Yeah.
will not let it to white.
Okay. Should we take another? Should we take a look at the other quarterfinal game?
Yeah, let's make just a short,
Yeah.
a short view.
Okay. So Katerina Logno playing with the white pieces, Hang Junyi playing with the black pieces. They played a Sicilian, and light square bishops get traded off immediately. Central pawn push, d4. And we get into the structure. It kind of looks like a... it looks like a advanced Karo Khan.
Yeah, so this the move rook e3. It's I've heard that it's an interesting move. So probably it was a prep.
Yeah. Okay, knight e1 looks insane, but okay. Okay, f6 to attack the head of the pawn chain. Oh my gosh. That rook is just blocking the bishop, and then all of a sudden it unblocks the bishop just to block the queen. Wow. Okay, so at queen g4 is the last move that's been played. And this does look like a chaotic game. Yeah, that's there's a lot going on here. Like, does black take, and then I guess this knight would defend the a pawn? I mean, queen g4 is putting pressure on the e pawn, but it's not doing anything just yet. I mean, you could try playing knight c5 at some point, but are you gonna pin yourself, or are you gonna actually win material? I don't know. It looks a little crazy.
Yes, it was very tough at the opening, you know, and they spent a lot of time at the beginning. And Lagno, she has 20 minutes less than Tan.
True,
And
but
still,
yesterday didn't we see Logno had like
yeah.
7 minutes and Tang Jung-yi had 30 minutes or more? And then all of a sudden the next time we looked at the game, it was completely flipped. Like Katerina Logno had like 8 minutes. She gained time, and Tang Jung-yi had 3 minutes just before the new time control.
Yes, exactly. Yes, now we are waiting for 20 more interesting moves just before the first time control. A little reminder that we have 90 minutes for first 40 moves. It means that soon we will have time pressure on 2 boards. And usually it's very crucial, yeah, or critical moves in game.
Yeah. Great. And well, we can go back to Alexandra versus Alexandra if that works.
Yeah, let's go back. What's happening there? Okay, we see that nothing new, but yes, but they need time to choose the plan, because yes, it's equal position from the engine side, but as we said before, for human it's still seems not really equal. You know,
Yeah.
there are a lot of options, and yes, probably the one option is playing b4, yes, to get this pawn on c6, but black can prevent it with the rook b5. And then probably they can play mostly, I don't know, on king side, probably even to make some moves as h5 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of just freeze the queen side. This pawn structure was dividing the board into two different halves, right? And if you freeze the queen side, then all of a sudden you can start playing on the king side, where black has more pieces than white at the current moment. Plus, with the rook on b5, you could easily transfer it over. And we do see b4 played.
And especially some moves as h5, it open a space for the king also, and it makes safety for the king.
No back rank mates allowed in top level classical chess.
It's really important to remember about your king. We have a weird question. Are you allowed to write notes while playing classical chess? What do you mean to write notes? To write
Like on the
your
score
moves,
sheet, I think?
or just your thoughts that you have?
I think they mean like extra notes, like beyond, more than just writing the moves.
Some drawings.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know about this point of rules.
I thought.
I guess you can draw whatever you want, but from the other side, this paper, yes, where you write your moves, it's like official blank or official list of FIDE. I don't know.
I thought that, was it Wesley So? I thought someone got disqualified from a game because they were writing additional notes on the score sheet. But I could be wrong, but I thought I heard that story, that I thought it was Wesley So. He got like defaulted, like he got forfeited because he was writing extra notes on the card. I'm gonna look this up.
Okay, probably someday we can check.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a b4 move from Goryachkina.
Yes. Okay. So, not ironically, I wasn't saying so ironically, but in 2015, it looks like. Yeah. Wait, no.
Yes, now it's time to choose.
Okay. So, Wesley So was forfeited in round 9 of the 2015 US Chess Championship because he was taking notes on a separate sheet of paper beneath his score sheet.
And separate.
Yes. So maybe you can take notes on your score sheet, but not on a separate sheet of paper. I wonder if that's just because it's like Like, who knows if the notes were there before or after the game started? I don't know. That's crazy. But I hope that answers your question, Flyer. Oh, okay. Also, Powerful Knight has a question for you, Oksana.
Yeah.
Is the book? Oh, wait, they're asking for the name in Russian for the book, the complete manual of positional chess volumes, 1 and 2, by Konstantin Sakev and Konstantin Landa. Are those books you're familiar with?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. They have a series of books. Um, um, I will check it. How do they call it?
By the way, I'll let you answer the question of
Mhm.
theory by chat when you're ready.
Yeah, in Russian it sounds учебник шахматной стратегии, and they have like few of these books. In English, I guess it will sound something like the book of chess strategy, something like that. Yeah, it's really very good books. When I had time, I really went through, and it's really nice.
Very neat.
Yes, so I can advise you.
Um. Right. Well, with this position, Alexandra is taking some time to think, but her clock is ticking down, so she's almost down 10 minutes on her clock. But it's a sharp position, so you want to make sure that you do not lose advantage. And yeah, the white's biggest counterplay or threat is to roll the pawns down the board. So what's the best way to stop that? And honestly, do you need to stop it just yet, or do you have an extra tempo that you can wait and spend on the king side, because rook b1 is probably needed. One of the rooks to b1 is needed before b5 can come. Actually,
Yeah, and that's really very important point to think a little bit more, to choose some line.
yeah, and b5 never really can come, because by the time you get enough on b5, like rook b5 just plugs the hole. And if you ever like, because the queen on f5 is really coordinating well with the rook. So queen f5 just overall good move. I mean, we back up a little bit, and you go. I obviously like the bishop's hitting the queen, but I feel like probably when Alexandra played queen d7, she probably saw bishop a4 as a natural response, and to go queen f5 in this position, or really queen f5 from this position, right, is quite the idea. I don't know. It's not like easy to find, with like the c pawn hanging during that whole time as well, and then finally fixing that and getting to this position. It's been quite dynamic. Is Oksana, is spasibo like thank you in Russian or something?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, спасибо. Спасибо, it's thank you.
Okay. Spasiba. Okay. That's Powerful Knight says spasiba. And wow. Okay, so Alexandra finds the top engine move, which is h5, basically saying you can't play b5 anyway, even though b4 you're trying to. B5 can't be played, so I have time. As Oksana was commenting earlier, well, nothing's really going on in the queen side, so we have plenty of time to start our own attack on the king side.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting move just to keep more pressure, especially on 24 move. Yeah, because it's close to time control. And if you keep pressure, you have really sometimes interesting games and you have some options. Oh, look, I have a small guest in our broadcasting. You asked me about my cat. So she is finally here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah, she likes to
Oh,
move and sit here sometimes on my back, on my shoulder.
that's
Yeah.
adorable. So cute. Really good at balancing up there. Oh,
Something interesting happened. What are you doing here?
oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
she's fine.
Look at her tail. Wow.
Yeah, I know cats always a good idea in broadcasting or in Instagram.
Right. They're popular. Oh, she's turning.
Yes, she's turning. She decided that it's better to turn with her face.
Oh boy.
Okay, okay. Nothing interesting, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay? Okay, she's okay. Okay, it was a 5 minutes cat break.
right, right. Back to the chess.
Yeah, back to this
Uh,
position, this equal.
yeah. Well, actually, where do you go? Like, what is? I mean, Black's plan is just continue just shoving the H pawn forward. But what do you do if you're white? What's your? I don't even.
Yeah,
What's
it's interesting that we checked we checked a plan for white, and we thought that it's probably not really pleasant for black to have white bishop on a5 because it's some pressure on c7 pawn. But then we see that white don't have some options to make more pressure on this pawn, and even now black they have some options on king side as well on queen side. It's getting more interesting.
so? Yeah. If if we're looking for plans for white and the queen side is stalled, or there's no plan path forward right now on the queen side. Like you're saying, like there's good pressure, but there's like not much else to do at the moment. And we don't want our d pawn to fall. But like right now, the most valuable piece is protecting the d pawn. But we improve the queen by moving the queen to a better square or moving something else to protect the the d pawn so we could move the queen elsewhere. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of like I guess I feel like the rook on the open e file is great, so probably nothing needed here. The bishop's kind of stuck, but it's like lodged, it's locked in, protecting the pawn as well. So maybe the rook a to d1 so that the queen can move freely about the board would make some sense.
Yeah, it's interesting that only with rooks they can move somehow, because this bishop on a5, this bishop right now has just only one line.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a useful line, but it's hard
Yes,
to make progress. Yeah.
probably might be.
Well, I think it's useful in the sense that, I mean, it's kind of like paralyzing the C rook, right? Like it's hard for the C rook to move with that bishop on a5.
Actually, it's interesting because, of course, now we will have some time pressure, of course.
Oh yeah.
And we remember the round, the first round yesterday. We can say that time pressure in the first round changed a lot, because Goryachkina has a better position, but made inaccuracy, not mistake, but inaccuracy, and we find position with a draw. And of course, yesterday after the game finished, we were waiting for Alexandra in our broadcasting, but of course it's really very serious tournament for Alexandra, so that's why she preferred to have a rest. But I checked the official interview, because all the players, they should go on official press conference or on official interview, and she shared their thoughts that she was really very worried about her position, and she also has a time trouble as her opponent, and she wasn't really very happy yesterday. So I hope that today we can change change the emotions before the break, because tomorrow we have day off, and after tomorrow we have 2 rounds more. So now it's really very important game, because it's always better to have day off with a good result.
Right. Yeah. You never want to be going into a rest day after a loss, because then it makes it much more difficult to actually rest, right? But that's yeah, that's good insight to the interview, and maybe we can catch the interview that she does with the official like broadcast on like we can just pull it up and watch it on our screen with the chat here. Maybe that's something we could try to do.
I don't know, because as a producer, I'm not sure about the rights
True.
of
Okay.
the broadcasting.
True. We'll play it safe. We'll play it safe. And then random, would we classify this position as half closed? I mean, there are some locked pawns, but I don't know. I feel like this is more open because you got a couple open and semi-open files. But I mean, Oksana, would you agree that this is more of an open position than closed?
Hmm. Yeah, it's difficult to say really, because on king side the position is like more open. Yes, on the queen side is really very we see it's really very difficult to play. We don't have a lot of option there. Yeah, it's and that's why it's more interesting. Very good comment.
So
Okay, we have we need to.
I don't get queen e2 though. I mean, okay, it's still protecting this pawn. But where is this queen going? Or I guess is it trying to trade itself off? Or
It seems like a safety move, yes. Just in case to be between two sides.
actually, let's just say like rook b5 or something like that. Queen e4 takes, and if you take with the rook, actually, you're putting pressure on the d pawn. Rook slides over, and all of a sudden, yeah, I don't know. Like all of a sudden, do you actually like play b5, rook takes, and then rook takes? So I'm drawing way too many arrows, which makes me think I should just play the moves to show a line, possible line. Like rook b5, queen e4. If takes, you don't take with the pawn. My idea is that you take with a rook, because if you are forced to defend with this rook, I'm seeing now I can probably play bishop f6, but let's just say, for example, this. I feel like this is starting to get a little bit better for white. You actually can push. No, never mind.
But after rook b5, we have our pawn on h5. Queen can take the pawn. No?
Queen can take the wait. Good point. But is there but? How about this move right here? Nope. Okay. I feel like there's something here because you have the queen and rook lining up.
I don't know when I have a chance not to give away a pawn. I guess it's better not to give away a pawn.
Yeah. True. Although I mean, Alexandra was seeing lines where she could have given away the c7 pawn, but those are for very concrete reasons. So unless you can find a concrete reason to play rook b5.
Oh, we have a move on the board. Bishop f6.
Okay. Bishop f6. Kind of reinforcing this. Maybe honestly, maybe anticipating queen e4, but also to protect the h pawn.
Yes, I guess it's just for protection. H5 pawn is better not give away to opponent, of course.
Yeah. And maybe we're gonna see. Maybe we will see queen e4, because if you're white, I mean, what are you looking to play for here in this position?
Probably we have a good comment that it looks like she's going to start pushing pawns on king side. Yeah, probably it's still a good option.
Queen e4 still works. But now the d pawn's pretty well protected. Yeah. I don't know what else could white play here.
Yeah, what could be a plan for white? They can also make a move as h3.
Yeah, just to wait and
Yes, just to wait and have a space for the king. Sometimes it's really good option.
it'll be interesting to see how white plays, because are they gonna, I mean, I feel like white has the ability to force the simplification, or
Or make a pressure, but the question is how,
right.
because I cannot see some pressure from white. What can they do? Because on E line, they... Oh, okay, we have a move rook AC1.
Interesting. This to play rook c5 then?
No, it's not the
Sorry, not
option
that.
because
That was
of the
hanging.
pawn on
Yeah, sorry.
D6, yeah.
Wait, what is the point of rook a c1?
Hmm.
I'm wondering now, can you just put the rook over on b5 and swing it over to e5? You know, when pawns don't move for so long, sometimes I develop like a blindness to the pawn. It's like, oh, it's not there anymore. Because they're like the pawns are just like stuck forever and ever, and then I was like, oh yeah, like this, they don't even exist. I mean,
I don't know, yes, what for this move, because it's just in case. It seems like
right.
this. But probably white they have some plan, and somewhere in the line you need to defend this pawn, but from what piece?
Yeah, and I was thinking like, okay, maybe black, instead of like rook b5, might have had a plan like rook a8, rook a6 to try and grab this pawn, because you still can't push b5 because of this. But that is so slow, and all it would take would be one move to just like protect. So kind of like, like I don't know, like it's almost like a waiting move. Like it's like a, okay, the bishop and pawn are locked on the A and B file, so let's just generally just improve the rook position and put it on a file that has more squares available.
Yeah, sometimes waiting moves are good, but I believe that they are good only when it's like it could be a part of something better.
Right. But yeah, I'm really liking rook b5 and rook e5. And I mean, if white's just playing waiting moves because they don't have a clear plan, then like, let's say rook b5, h3, rook e5. You just move out of the way, and I guess is black the one looking to trade down at that point then? But I don't know if black wants to trade down like the rooks, because this bishop isolating, like freezing this rook, is actually giving white. It's advantageous for white, right? If queen e4 was a serious threat, would black play d5? So random. I think that queen e4 is not a threat to win, but it's just more of a threat to like go trade down into an endgame. Versus d5 would create another weakness because d5 can't push the c pawn to protect the d5 square because it's blocked by white's pawn. And so after you play d5, now rook c5 would be possible, and it's easier for white to just probably break some stuff up, and also it disconnects, like d5 would disconnect the queen from seeing the b5 square. So it's still not possible because of the rook on b8, but it would create like a long-term permanence that could be a weakness in allowing this pawn to run, like if the rook comes back and goes this way, or even like t5, rook c5, and then rook e to b1 and start pushing.
Yeah, d5 it's interesting, probably interesting because it gives to rook less space, but I don't like the square c5 for the rook.
Yeah.
Probably it's possible to make more pressure on a king side, to play h4. I don't know. Is it possible? Is it good?
Yeah. Oh, like for white, wait for black to play h4 or white to play h4?
Yeah, for black,
Yeah. Also we should promote rook a to c1. I think we need to promote it twice.
Yeah, okay,
No.
let's promote it. Yes, I promoted twice.
Okay. Perfect. And yeah. Oh gosh, I just took a I just took a peek at the engine lines. There are at least five moves that are still considered a draw by the engine, but amongst them are at least rook b5, also even rook a8. I don't know what this rook a8 plan is, because after seeing rook a to c1, that wouldn't really make sense to me. Another interesting one is actually bishop e5. Is that to instigate some sort? Excuse me. Would that be to like instigate some sort of king pawn to move forward to prevent mate? And yeah, I don't know. And then bring the queen back and play h4.
But Alexandra, she's thinking 7 minutes already. So definitely she's choosing a line.
Yeah. Actually, can you avoid the queen trade? Because the queen on e4 is not actually hitting anything, because the bishop's on f6 protecting the d4 pawn. So maybe regardless of where you go, you have time to move the queen out of the way. Unclear. It's definitely unclear.
I think h5 was not only just this safety move. It was just a part of some plan, and probably it's time to make it. Oh, yeah. So yes, it was a part of a plan, I guess, because now we see g6.
There it
G6.
is.
It's interesting move. Yeah, it's interesting move. We even didn't mention it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. You have a dark square bishop, no light square bishop, but you put your kingside pawns on the light squares, so the dark square holes are covered by your bishop and your queen.
Mm-hmm.
I guess again, like we were talking about before, queen e4 to try and trade everything off and simplify is probably the best for white. But if you're talking about Oksana's strategy from earlier in a match, try to draw with the black pieces, try to win with white, then maybe Goryachkina does not want to play queen e4 unless she's forced to. So maybe she's looking for alternatives here. But we'll see. I mean, she has 29 minutes on the clock. She's up by 8 minutes, so she has plenty of time to work through a couple different solutions here.
Yeah, and we have 13 moves till the first time control.
Yes. So, if we want to do some math on that, 13 more moves. Well, I guess 14 more moves, right? Because you have to make move 40. 14 more moves. So you get an extra 7 minutes of increment. So she has 29 plus 7. It's 36. 36 divided by 14. She's got like 2.5 minutes per move. So she's got plenty of time here. But
So
Alexandra...
Kevin, you see, you don't need any Excel from PC.
exactly. Well, yeah. The quick math is okay without Excel, but when you get into all the modeling and everything else, that's when you need the program to do its job. Yeah. Okay, and Goryachkina plays G3, so willingly puts pushes
She's
a
already played.
pawn, yeah. But this seems strange because now H4 is like begging to be played. And I guess H4 you can play G5, but are you really going to play G5?
What's happened in Lagno and Tan game?
Oh, something crazy?
Yeah, they repeated.
Ah, okay. So after all that craziness,
Yeah, so they have a draw, but okay.
I mean, incredibly accurate play.
Yeah, it's interesting because all the intention of the commentators, how I could check it before, it was really on this board because of the interesting game of very tension, but still draw. Okay.
Jeez. After rook b3, I can't just take something catastrophic. Rook a3. And you can't take this b pawn because if you take the b pawn, then you're losing your rook. Okay. Well, incredibly accurate play from both Katerina Lagno and Kang Zhongyi. That is that's impressive to say the least. What a wild game they played.
Yeah.
And that's I feel like a lot of chess games end in draws, but a draw in a chess game can be wildly different compared to another draw. It can be something very, very tame, and then it can be something where, there's tactics flying everywhere, but you the best you can do is a draw, so you take it, right? And yeah. And actually, yesterday I played a couple of bullet games, which I normally don't play bullet because I'm quite a slow player in general, but I wasn't thinking, so I just sacrificed a couple pieces. But fortunately, it was like, okay, can I checkmate? And then I was like, no, I can't. So I just went for the perpetual. I was like, wow, I feel like a professional. I just locked in some draws. But I feel like normally I would try to play on, but had to accept the perpetual, which I know is much more commonplace for the pros.
Okay, we have a move.
After g3, king g7, maybe.
We have queen e4 because white probably decided that they would have better position without queens. But Alexandra Kosteniuk, she doesn't want to change
Right.
queens, so she moved on b5. Okay.
Maybe this was the idea of rook a to c1, was knowing that black would like to keep the queens on the board. Maybe rook a to c1 was protecting this ahead of time. So instead of this plan, they were more concerned about queen b5. So it's a very nice prophylactic move. And that's that opinion is pretty much similar to what Oksana was saying in relation to a match strategy. Because if it's round robin, actually round robin's it's a pretty similar strategy as well, but yeah. And in a match, it's like even more important. Yeah, so chat, I think that this d5 push looks tempting, but I mean rook c5 is it's giving up the c5 square is just, it's very tough to deal with. d5 traps the queen. No, it goes back. If you could, if the pawn could go to d5 and promote to a bishop, it still doesn't trap the queen because you have f4.
Okay, so yes, we see definitely that white wanted to change the queens. Black doesn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so they're saying that d5 traps black's queen, and yeah, that it does.
We have h4 on the board. So almost symmetrical.
Yeah.
Position.
This game is all about symmetry. Oh, that's the theme. Yeah, I feel like the players were like, let's make some art today. Let's make a beautiful symmetrical position with those pawns, and then now let's have a kingside symmetry. If just remove the bishop and you have the symmetry.
The question is what we can do with black and with white. What plan do the black have? So we have this move on the board. Yes, so it could be a plan with the rook is going on a6 and just to make a pressure on the pawn on c6. But still, if white don't move, so nothing happened. So it's like it's like a draw position, it seems.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like at some point it's just about if you play for the win, like in chess can be cruel because if you have the drawn position and you play for the win, that's a recipe for disaster sometimes, right? And it's not necessarily that all the pieces are off the board, it's more that neither side can make progress without losing potentially. So it's a little cat and mouse effect here.
Little reminder that the players can't make a draw, cannot agree on a draw, yes, before the first time control, before the fourth move. They can just repeat position and then it will be a draw. But before, for this move, we need to play. They need to play.
Right. And we're on move 29 was rook a8. So move 30 is about to be played, which means 11 more moves need to be played to get to that time control. So 31 wait, no. Yeah, 30 through 40 was 11 moves. And the extra time control is an extra 30 minutes and still with the same 30-second increment. Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't even know. Even if you play like rook a6, just to entertain the idea, right? If the rook is on a6 and you push d5, then rook c5. Can you take, and then? I guess no, because
a lot of arrows on the board.
yeah. So I don't even know like another move here for white. Okay, well, good thing that they made it for she made it for us. Okay, so now d5 is not out of the question. I was gonna say maybe there was d5 like rook a6 and d5, then maybe enough pawns fall where black is safe, but they also improve a little bit.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we have queen f3 on the board. Just, yes, not to meet with our pawn.
Right, because d5 alone was not going to do anything, but d5 with tempo to potentially win the c pawn, then that's that actually is a threat. Sorry, Chad. I need to take a little stretch. It's 7:50 a.m. for me, and we've been going for almost 2 hours, almost 3 hours.
Yes, we are here almost 3 hours.
time flies when you're having fun. Also, I'm disappointed in chat because chat never described the key difference between yesterday's commentary and today. A very small detail, but something that was discussed yesterday, but not yet today. There's another hint there.
Yeah, this right answer.
So today, it's the wait. Hold on. Yeah, today we got the nice little sweatshirt. To fail is to learn, which I think pairs really nicely with what Oksana was saying yesterday about how chess taught her like that living life is all about learning every single day, right?
I hope that it's not that is for today.
True. True. Today, we don't want to learn. We just want to win. But another day we'll do the learning.
After this tournament, okay.
Right, right. Hey King. Okay, so right after we mentioned that, King is like, yeah, why no suit today? Suit and shorts, right? I just want to clarify, I was wearing pants yesterday, but today I'm going like full sweatshirt, sweatpants, or not sweatpants, joggers. So they're a little more stylish, you know. Trying to keep with the trends, keeping up with the fashion styles as best I can.
Yes, actually, we have a question about the result of today. So, okay, I will remind that it's Women's Candidates Tournament Pool B. It's a new knockout system for the women's world title. The Pool A event recently took place in Monaco, and the winner of Pool A is Lei Tinzi. And so now we have two pairs, Alexandra Kosteniuk versus Alexandra Goryachkina and Katerina Lagno versus Tanya Juni. So the winner will face off with Lei Tinzi in the next year for the right to challenge for the women's world chess title. And they are playing a 4-game match plus tie breaks if needed. And yesterday we had a first round. Today we have a second round. And Katerina Lagno with Tanjuni, they had two draws. And now we have a game of Alexandra Kosteniuk and Alexandra Goryachkina, two Alexandras.
Okay. Battle of the Alexandras. Although they spell their names differently, so it's which one is better, right?
It's depend on what do you like, because it's really it's one name spelled with X and the other with KS, but it's no difference in name. Now it's the second game of 4. Yesterday in first round, two Alexandras, they made a draw.
Oh, we see Rook A6 on the.
Okay, Rook A6. Yeah, so black want to make a pressure on this pawn on c6, but still, what can they do after?
Right. I think with the queen on the same diagonal and the rook, either of these two pieces can be kicked out from those squares or those diagonals and files. So kind of just waiting to see what happens. But rook c4 played. So okay. Rook c4.
Rook c4, yeah.
But I feel like that's not an actual. There's no actual threat or anything because no matter what, even if you bring your other rook, you're not gonna sacrifice the exchange just for this pawn. And you're the only other. Oh, good.
Yeah, but probably Alexandra Goryachkina, she decides to play a little bit faster than Alexandra Kosteniuk, because Kevin, you are right. I cannot see the reason for rook c4. Yeah, because what's next?
Right, like it'd be one thing if your bishop could move back and also target the d pawn, but not really.
We have bishop e5. Bishop e5.
Yeah, honestly, we might just see a repetition of moves or something, or just several moves played quickly and just a bunch of shuffling.
We have a question about the age of Goryachkina. So Goryachkina she is 24. She is 24. She is younger than Alexandra Kosteniuk.
Yep. Yeah. 24 is oh oh
Yes, she is 24, not 35.
yeah. So the
24.
so Chad's saying from the picture she looks much younger, but I think that picture probably is from when she was younger.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I looked at if you know who Christopher Yu is, he's a 15-year-old grandmaster in the U.S. And when I looked at his profile, he literally looks like he's like 10 years old, but he's 15 now. Some of those pictures are quite outdated.
Yeah, for me, it's really very interesting. Do organizers asking chess players about their photos? Do they like it to use it on tournaments and official documents or not?
Yeah. Well, so I think it's different from tournament organizers versus chess.com, because the chess.com profile is separate, right? Because this is a FIDE event, but chess.com just has like the live access. And yeah, I mean, well, I don't know.
Now we see a little bit more complicated position on board.
oh no, that bishop. Why oh no, that bishop? I think it's pretty safe on that square.
Yes, looks like a solid square for the bishop.
Like if
Again, I have tropical rain behind me.
oh, nice, nice. It was raining pretty hard over here last night for me, but no rain now, fortunately. Huh. I wonder if you can play F5 to try and make progress, but is that too ambitious?
I guess it's too risky to play f5.
But if you're
Especially when you have this time control ahead.
I mean, really, the dark squares are not weak around the king because look at all these pawns. Also, like F5. What? Even if F5 doesn't get played, F4 is always a move. So then the bishop just goes back, and I feel like this is just a completely dead position where nothing's happening. Like,
So Alexandra Kosteniuk has 11 minutes against 20.
yeah. But Oksana,
So
you,
we
do you
have
see?
a little bit time pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. But Oksana, do you see what I'm saying? Where like, even if okay, so rook a7's made. Okay, so no matter what, like f5
Mhm.
or sorry f4,
Yeah.
don't we just kind of shuffle around? Like this bishop is completely, you know, dysfunctional. It's not really doing anything productive. This bishop's not doing anything. Um,
But at the
and
same time, f4 could be not really safety to your king.
right, but there's no way to attack it.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess you could try and like come around this way, but
Rook a7. What's the plan for black rook a7? It's just a waiting move? How do you think?
I think rook a7 is the beginning of a draw offer. That's my
And just repeat moves, probably.
yeah, and maybe it's not explicitly like okay, like let's just move back and forth, but it could be okay. Well, we're just gonna shuffle, see what white does. If they don't do anything crazy, then we'll continue shuffling until move 40, and extend a handshake. Because I mean, the rook doesn't have any purpose on a7, right? It's not being attacked. It can't really be attacked, but it's also not serving a purpose. Um, so I feel like she's probably playing a waiting move and saying, "Hey, like I can't make any progress, but Goryachkina, you can't
Probably
either."
probably you know the queen g2. It was for queen h3 to attack rook on c8. So that's why it's we see rook a7
I like it.
just because of that, probably.
I like it. I like it.
And
But
after we have opportunity to go away from c8 because probably our rook is tired to be there.
oh, I see. I see. Oh, okay. So there's some more play left in there because you're defending the c pawn with the a7 rook now. Okay.
It's just a
Ah.
guess. Probably they have some other plans.
Well, that's exactly what just was played was queen h3 and rook d8. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
spot on, spot on. Can we both promote rook d8?
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, I promoted.
Perfect, perfect. Okay. So
Oh, we have a queen back on g2.
All right. I think this is gonna be shake hands in a moment here.
Probably it's so now it can be a draw.
Yeah, I think this is heading fast towards the draw, which I mean, I feel like there's just not any life left in the position to make progress without jeopardizing a loss.
Yeah, definitely white in white to have a draw for black. And Alexandra Kosteniuk, she's thinking now about this option.
Whoa! I just noticed in Alexandra Kosteniuk's Twitch bio that
Yeah.
she is a marathon runner. I didn't realize that. It says that she's a marathon runner. Quite impressive. You know, in like the biography or like the about chess queen in her Twitch bio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't realize that she runs a lot.
Okay, we have two moves more. Yeah, it's a draw. I guess, yeah.
Wait,
Did they repeat?
To D.
Yeah, yes.
Yep.
They are repeating now the move, so
Yep.
So it's gonna be a draw.
There we have it. It's the full. We have the handshake in a threefold. So good stuff. And should we do a quick little recap for everyone that joined late?
Yeah, sure.
'Cause,
Let's make it.
Either people had things going on, or more than likely, there's also a group of people that are just now waking up, and we can tell them how this round of the FIDE women's candidates.
Yeah. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening.
Yes.
Yes.
But here we had Goryachkina playing e4 and Alexandra Kosteniuk playing e5. Going to Ruy Lopez, which we saw yesterday, but the difference is that Alexandra Kosteniuk ended up taking the knight on c6, and black had this damaged pawn structure. But in this instance, Goryachkina goes back, plays for this line of the Ruy Lopez, where the bishop goes back to b3, and both players castle. Goryachkina goes, white strikes out with a4, and we get into an interesting situation where b4 comes, c3 comes.
Bishop b7 was just to prevent a takes b, a takes b, just to defend the rook on a8.
Right, so now the rook is defended, versus if you just played any random move, say like rook e1, then all of a sudden, you're losing the rook, so you're at least losing a pawn instead. So bishop b7, then b4 comes, trying to control the squares of the knight, and the bishop's blocking the other one. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, but c3 comes immediately, and instead of helping white develop, Alexandra goes for rook b8. We get into this interesting line where a pawn is temporarily gambited, but immediately won back. Rook retreats to b8.
Actually, the idea for white here, they should not allow lines for black, where the pieces changes very fast. So because it will draw very fast, but we know that draw it's not a good result for white. especially in this match. Yes, so that's why we see a strategy for white and we see strategy for black.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, and so black simply retreats, and the knight comes forward, and this is when things got quite interesting. And if you haven't seen this yet, then feast your eyes on how this position transforms into a very symmetrical structure on the D file. Look at
With a
this.
lot of pawns on D line.
Right, right. I guess it's not connect 4 because they're different colors, but a 4 stack of pawns. I don't know if I've ever seen this. This is crazy. But the queen comes out, breaks any further attempt at symmetry, and the dark square bishop ended up applying a lot of pressure on this c pawn. And you'll notice that the queen and the bishop both hit the c pawn, but queen d7, the idea is that if you take, well, rook takes, bishop, queen takes, and it's deflected from the protection of the bishop here on c7. So 2 bishops or a rook and a pawn is actually advantageous.
Yes, it's slightly better. Probably not slightly, probably much better now.
Right, right, and so that's why that's what Alexandra must have seen. And if you take with the queen, well then you take back and like anyway, if you take with the queen, your light square bishop is just completely undefended. So like queen d7 worked out, and then queen f5, further complicating things. But now the light square bishops come off. The c pawn is kind of wedged here. Both c pawns are wedged in place, and rook c8 to help defend the c pawn. White starts trying to make progress to try and get these 2 connected pawns and break through, but really black's pretty well set up to prevent that from happening. And basically the whole queen side is frozen. What Oksana was saying was before h5 was even played, Oksana was like, well, there's nothing left to do on the queen side, so why not start going for an attack on the king side? That's where h5 came from. And then you see pieces start to maneuver.
Yes, just to try probably a black could have some chances on king sides, but not really.
Yeah, with both players playing incredibly accurately, it was hard for either player to make progress. Even with white trying to go down into an endgame, Alexandra Kosteniuk was trying her best to play on to see if there were chances here, but ultimately there's just no way to make progress. And then
Yeah,
rook.
actually it's equal position, yes, and nothing to have here from the both sides. And tomorrow, yes, tomorrow we have a rest day.
And rook a7, very, odd looking move, but it's because queen g2. The queen slowly backed up. Didn't the queen go to, yeah, okay. So the queen moved back 1 square at a time. But the idea was that it would go to queen h3 to hit the rook. So both players playing very sharp chess, and basically at this point, they repeated moves because neither of them could really make progress. And yeah, so that's how we got to the draw. Welcome in Yuri in the house. Yuri in the house. Shout out to this guy because he is a great streamer. If you are a fan of checking out some fun, entertaining chess, he's a great guy.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, so we have 2 matches in this Pool B women's candidate tournament, and we have a draw in the first and the second match. Tomorrow we have rest day. Probably it's time to have I don't know, probably excursion.
Yeah.
in Uzbekistan, if you are there. By the way, do we have some chess fans from Uzbekistan?
Anyone watching from Pakistan? I think we had okay, so we have someone in Kentucky in the US. We have someone in Canada watching. I thought we had Italy, Serbia, Russia. I think there's a pretty big variety of countries represented in chat here.
Yeah, it's great. Actually, I need to say that yesterday we made an inaccuracy in the pronunciation of the city. It
Ooh.
sounds like Hiva. The emphasis in the name of the city is placed precisely on the last letter. So Hiva is a very ancient and beautiful city.
Hiva, is that correct?
Hiva.
Hiva.
Yes, Hiva.
Very cool. Very cool. I will have to remember that because I do not want to mispronounce it. Magician, I know where you're from. Aren't you Israeli? Is that correct?
Mhm.
See,
It's a
I know chat.
little quiz.
Right. I know chat. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'm pretty confident in that answer. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, Oksana, would you like to continue our tradition and play another Blitz game, or would you prefer to raid out and...
Okay, yeah, okay, let's play one more game because I have no chance for training a lot of a long time ago, so it's really good time.
Okay, all right. Well, are you okay with the 3-2 time control, or do you want...
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's okay.
All right.
Okay, just a minute. I will I will once again log in because okay, I'm here.
All right, I will I'll challenge you as white since yesterday I played with the black pieces, right?
Okay, could you please challenge me once again?
Sounds good. Best of luck. Woo. I'm already nervous. Okay. I sent the invite. Yet?
Yes. No, not yet.
Okay. We try another way. Say a friend. Great challenge link. Here, copy. Okay. There you go. There's the link. I sent it in Discord. And good luck. All right.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen E4 today and yesterday. I'm gonna go with D4. We're gonna take a page of a different book. Okay, I'm gonna be boring.
You're gonna be boring. Me too. Okay. Sounds very interesting.
Yes.
To be bored.
Well, we're playing solid chess here, hopefully.
You know that we're not good in the openings.
Right.
Because it was a really long time ago when we checked some theory. But anyway, we still can play.
Yuri, I don't want to hear it. I know you play the Jobava London, which is still a London opening.
Just a moment. Sorry, cannot hear you at the moment because but I will play
Oh,
anyway.
okay.
Oh
Nothing.
yeah, okay. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't think I was talking. Whoa, what is this?
I don't know. I just trying to play. You know, I'm always trying to play fast because I really like to think to, and I spend a lot of time.
Yeah. Hey, you're the one that's winning on time right now.
Just a little bit, probably. Okay, you want to make a pressure on me.
Hmm. Okay. We slide back. Slide to the left.
Okay.
Take it back now, y'all.
Okay, from today's game, we know that it's really useful to play on the queen side as well on your king side. So I learned from today's game.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh gosh. Okay, so can I do this?
Okay, you make a pressure on me. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, hey, I'm saying, look, the queen side, that's not where my strengths are, so I'm gonna go all in on the king side. I don't even think I'm gonna,
Okay.
I don't even think I'm gonna do anything about this. I'm gonna let you take.
Okay, I'm going all on the queen side.
Yeah.
I guess I missed this option. I missed this move, if to be honest.
I don't know if it's. Oh no, it's.
I'm afraid to take with my pawn. I guess I will lose my game right away, but I will try.
Okay. Let's try this.
Okay.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I forgot about this. Wait. Okay, so how about this move then?
It's very dangerous for me. Of course, I understand, but still, it was my mistake with the b4.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. That was my mistake. Okay.
Oh no. Yeah. Wait. This is not ideal. But can I
I don't
just?
have good position, so I guess you will win.
Wait, I think I can do
So,
this.
dear chess fans, learn openings because it's really crucial for your game.
Yesterday you were saying learn tactics. Now you're saying learn openings.
Sometimes. No, of course, it's better to learn everything, but uh, I don't know why, but I have bad position second time. Okay.
I think this is how I do it.
still, it's it's really very interesting position because of the stance. So,
Shoot, wait. How do I?
so probably I have to defend it. I don't know how, but still, okay.
I don't know how to finish. Like, I don't know how to. This is annoying.
Yeah, I don't like your bishop, sorry.
That's annoying.
Probably have some small chances. Just a little bit.
Oh my god.
I have no idea how to play. It is 14 seconds. But I will defend. I will defend my position. Yeah, probably. Ah! What are you doing?
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, GG, GG. Oh, too good, too good.
Yeah, I have my
Got knocked out.
special power.
Right, dude, you should punch
It was a
the
chess.
punch the other way, like through the screen, like you like punch and it all like get hit,
So like this.
Yeah. Oh no, to the side, to your right.
To the side. Ah, to the side. You are on
Yeah.
my
Oh, the other way.
left. Like here.
The other way.
No. Yeah. No, I have just one option to the right.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what a knockout. What a knockout. They were just
Okay, so you see we have a match as well. So today you won yesterday you won the game. Today I won. Tomorrow we have a rest, and then we have 2 more games.
Right, exactly. We both have a rest day tomorrow as well for commentary
Yes.
and for our match. Great game though. Great game. That was
yes, great
crazy.
game.
I really want to know. It looks like this was all fine. Like apparently C4. Okay, so maybe bishop A4 now. Okay, so bishop H4 should have been played earlier. But bishop H4, good move. Take is best. Queen H5 was the mistake. So apparently Queen G4 was more accurate.
It's funny that you analyzing right now, and we can see Alexandra Goryachkina, like her picture.
Yeah.
Like she's playing with black, and Alexander Kosteniuk.
Yeah, they played a little bit more accurately than we did, but it's okay. Oh, so the key idea would have been okay. So the key here would have been queen. The reason why Queen G4 is better is because instead of going Queen H5, the idea is Queen H4. So when you block the mate, I trade queens, and no matter how you take, I win the piece of the bishop.
Yeah.
So I went for checkmate, but I should have gone for material. Okay.
Yeah, it was a really nice game.
Yeah.
It was a really nice broadcasting.
Yeah.
So it's time to have a rest.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Can we get a raid out to... Who should we raid? Oh, we could raid... Oh, sorry. We could raid either Alessia Santaramo, who just did the commentary on chess.com, or we could raid Hikaru, since Hikaru raided us yesterday.
Okay. Let's raid Hikaru, yeah?
Sure.
It's a hi from our broadcasting.
Yeah, I don't think I can raid. Do we have any mods in the house? Yeah. Fortunately, I don't. Yeah. I thought Vague, I thought you were a mod. Is that? Okay, well, unfortunately we cannot raid, so I might have to just end stream.
Okay. So thank you very much, our dear chess fans. We will wait after tomorrow at the same time. It's a different time for different countries. They play at 3 p.m. Uzbek time, and it's a women's candidates tournament, Pool B.
Yep. So one rest day for the players, for the commentators.
Yep.
Yep. And for the viewers. So in the meantime, we will all take a rest. Make sure you stay hydrated, and we will yeah. See you on Friday. Sorry. All right, we will head out. Thank you everyone for watching, and take care.